Howdy friends, this is PelicanMan bringing you another video of me playing Nahiri Boom with my Mardu Nahiri base. So this is a list I tried out off camera recently. So basically cutting the Nahiris for Karn the Great Creators, like cutting all the win cons, just being full on kind of trying to be a lockout style deck with Karn as our win condition, quote unquote. I suppose Lingering Souls also being a route to victory, but the sideboard was very much just a silver bullet package with a bunch of tutorable targets with Karn. We had Kihira the Orphan Guard as our companion, so it wasn't this exact list. I was going to try out this list that I'm showing you now, although yeah, I probably still would have had Kihira here. But turns out that Karn the Great Creator just skyrocketed in tickets recently, so I currently can't rent the full 4. I might come back to this list later if the price of Karn comes back down to a more realistic price. Also, Thoughtseizes are kind of expensive. But what I designed after testing this is I found that I still wasn't happy with having that few win conditions. So I created this list, which is kind of a halfway in between kind of list. So we've still got the Karn the Great Creators, which is something that we haven't really run in the past. But we're back on the Nahiris. We've got the Emrakul here, and the Emrakul is the reason that we can't have Kihira as our companion. None of the companions really work, but I don't think we need to if we've got the Nahiri Emrakul thing going on. So I'll just go through the cards. The mana base has stayed the same. It's the Mardu mana base I've been trying out with the one of Fetid Heat here to let our flagstones convert into double black for a turn 2 dam if we happen to need it. Got 5 fetches and the 3 Bloodstained Mires and the 2 Marsh Flats. They can search for 2 Blood Crypts, 1 Godless Shrine, 1 Sacred Foundry, 1 Sapphire Triumph. We've got a mountain, a plains, and a swamp. We've got 2 Rustvale Bridges and 4 Drossforge Bridges, 4 Flagstones. In the spells, we've still got 4 Prismatic Ending. Now, in the card list I tried before, I actually cut Chalice entirely, so that was kind of my thought was in the Chalice slots, because I've actually been trying to run without Chalice recently, but I kind of am up in the air whether that's actually a good idea or not. So I tried running the cards in the Chalice slot, so if I needed, I still had access to the Chalice. And I've kind of decided that, well, not decided, but I've kind of worked out that I want to be kind of, I want to try halfway. I want to see both worlds, right? So we've still got the three of the 4 chalices. We've got 3 Karns to find the 4th chalice if we need to. Still got the one of Spike that has, which I'm still a big fan of. I didn't try it in my Karn list because I was actually running 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Thoughtseize. We've got the 4 Dam as always, the 4 Wildfire, the 4 Boom Busts, 4 Vindicate, 4 Lingering Souls, and then yeah, Nahiris and our Emrakul. And then of course our 3 Karns. Now, I was running 4 cards in the other list, but this looks more like the list we've always been running with the kind of 4 Nahiri, 2 Chandra kind of build, except the Chandra is replaced with cards. I've actually recently was testing a Hazard as well, so this is kind of the 2 Chandras and Hazard that I had been testing. And now the sideboard, so with the Karn list, I was actually on 4 Leyland Sanctity and then 1 Kihira, so like, 5 slots there, and then the rest was all artifacts for a Wishboard for Karn. The way I've designed the sideboard now, so I've got the 3 Leyland of Sanctity. There are reasons that I've actually cut down to 3. 2 Leyland of the Void, 2 Boil, as kind of cards that we can bring in. Basically, what I've worked out is there are sometimes where Dam doesn't have text, and I need to account for that. The rest of the cards are all kind of fine, like maybe Prismatic Ending's not always at its best. Spikefield Hazard can flexibly come out, but can also kind of stay in if it needs to. There are times where Chalice isn't good, and there are times where maybe Karn is too slow. So we've kind of accounted for all of those. I've kind of accounted for all those in different ways. So, against Burn, we're probably not going to be okay with Karn being slow, so we can kind of take him out for ley lines. And the Spikefield Hazard's not going to kill anything in Burn, so that can come out and we can add the 4th Chalice back to the main. If Dam's not good, if it's not a creature matchup, if it's a kind of combo-y matchup, we get to bring in the Dams there and like one of these Silver Bullets maybe. Against something like Reanimator, the Chalices don't look very good either, so we get to bring in the 2 Leyline of the Voids, and then we get to bring in, our Relic of Progenitus or something. So we've kind of accounted for, like, we can bring in some of our Silver Bullets to, if they're important, that they're played before the Karn in a given matchup, and also, like, pairing with these against certain matchups. So going through our sideboard, the 3 Leyline of Sanctity for hand hate, burn kind of stuff. 2 Leyline of the Void for graveyard matchups. The 2 Boil, these are very important for the control matchups. The blue control deck is still a big pain for us. And then for our Silver Bullets, we have Chalice of the Void to accompany the 3 in the main. Just any matchup where Chalice on 1's good, or any matchup where Chalice on 0 is good. We've also got the Void Mirror to support against the Cascade matchups, because you can't really have two Charleston Zeros against them, so you get to play a Void Mirror as well. We have a Damping Sphere, so the Void Mirror and the Damping Sphere can also kind of help with combo style matchups. We've got the Defense Grid for control style matchups. We have Trinisphere, which is good against the kind of spell stormy kind of decks. Also just really good in that, like, kind of one of our main ways to win is to get Karn the Great Creator out, blow up enough of our opponent's lands that we can use it to find Trinisphere. And if we keep our opponent under 3 lands, they can't cast anything under Trinisphere. So that is kind of one of our game plans. Liquid Metal Coating is a way that Karn can turn into a land destruction engine. So Karn is, when I was testing Karn, he was serving double role in that he was being a win condition and like helping us achieve a winning game state, but also mostly he was just another prison piece, which isn't something any Heroes and Chandras are doing, which is why we were testing Karn in the win condition slot there. And then the last two pieces of Gravehead, we've got Relic of Progenitus and Tormod's Crypt. I find Tormod's Crypt very important in that we can play Karn down tick and immediately grab and activate Tormod's Crypt if we need to, which is why it's kind of always wants to stay in the sideboard, because it's always good for the turn you deploy Karn. And then Relic, which is kind of the, if we need to bring in one of our Graveheads, we'll bring this in because Crypt is so much better with the Karn, on 4 mana. Whereas the Relic, we get, if we draw it at any point, it's kind of good to just play and pop straight away. It's, 1 mana to start with, but it's kind of a 2 mana thing because you want to pop their entire graveyard, it costs 2, and our deck is very hinging on 2 mana plays, so it kind of fits in there. It's also kind of nice in that if we are trying to sit behind one of these lock pieces and our opponent destroys it, we can use Karn to get Relic, use Relic to target, say, the Liquid Metal Coating from our graveyards, put it into exile, where Karn can once again downtick and put it back into our hand. So that is the deck. We're going to run it through a Modern League and see how it goes. Alright, here's match number 1 with Mardu Nahiri Boom. We get to play first. We see our opening hand with 2 Chalice. We have a Boom, but no land to target, but we can just use it with a fetch. We got a Lingering Souls. I think this is a keep. Now, I am concerned that they might be a hand hate deck, which means I kind of want to leave both Chalices so I can set a Chalice on 1 regardless of if they have hand hate. Otherwise, there is a temptation to play out a Chalice on 0 straight away. They haven't shown a companion, so I'm not too worried about Mishra's Bauble. And if they are a Cascade deck, then I can still just play a Chalice of the Void on 0 on turn 2. Looks like our opponent's kept 7 as well. We will just lead on a tapped Blood Crypt and pass it to our opponent. Oh, our opponent's led on a Shadow Skull to Hammer Pass, which means there's a very good chance that they're Belcher. Okay, I've drawn a Flagstone, so assuming they might be Belcher makes me want to just boom them straight away. Because this should find out whether they have... Oh no, they weren't not able to find a basic. This should... I'm just wondering, does Chalice want to do anything against Belcher? I don't think so. I think I do just want to lead with Boom. We're on the play, so this puts us at an advantage regardless. Okay, we'll just get a Triome with Flagstones and pass it back to our opponent. Maybe we should be playing a Chalice out on 0, actually. Yeah, very much looks like the Belcher with a Barliget Sanctuary here. So now I'm just going to Vindicate and keep taking down their lands. And we'll play out a Chalice on 0. Just for the hell of it, because we've got nothing else to do with it. Next time I will play a Lingering Souls and start trying to deploy a clock. Okay, another Shadow Skull, they're paying 3 for it. They're striking it rich. Okay. This tells me that Chalice on 1 might be better than I thought. Okay, we drew Godless Shrine. I am just going to lead Lingering Souls here, I think. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about what our opponent's deck is capable of. So I'll just pass it back. Okay, so our opponent has access to 3 mana this turn. Not sure if they're able to do anything with that. I feel like they've got a bunch of rituals in their deck, so maybe. Okay, they do just have a tap land and a Velocate Stoneforge. Okay, I'm going to use this turn to just deploy a Chalice on 1. I'm not sure if a Chalice on 2 is better for any reason. But I guess we'll... If our opponent does come off and win this game, it'll at least give us information on what we're meant to do with our Chalices in games going forward. Because I imagine Chalice on 2 is probably fine in that they probably have rituals in their deck, but it's not going to stop them winning. It's just going to slow them down. So just get in with our spirits here. Alright, they have themselves put another Shadow Skull in on tap, which makes me think this turn they're going to try and do something important. Yep, there's a Desperate Ritual. Oh, they're just hardcasting a Fury. Sure, that's fine. Mops up all of our spirit tokens. Yeah, we're just going to pass it back there. So the best thing I could hope to draw is a Boom Bust at this point, I think. The fact that they cast Fury makes me think they don't have a combo. Yeah, you can't flashback Striker Rich into a Charles on one opponent. Oh, Vindicate's nice. I think I just have to Vindicate the Fury here. I mean, can I afford to take too much more damage for the Fury? I don't think so. Yeah, I'll just Vindicate the Fury. It might be correct to just try and push my land destruction here, but this Fury does kill us in like 3 turns. Kills us very quickly. Metamorphose, okay. Oh, maybe I'd color screw them. Maybe that's what I was managing to do with my land destruction. Barley get recovery on the Fury, okay. I don't actually care about your Fury opponent. Although they can hardcast the next turn. Oh, we found Dam, that's fine. Let's just pass it back. Holding on to the land here because Boom Bust is still one of the better draws we can have, destroying our opponent's land, so we would have a land to play afterward. Okay, here's the Ironcrag feat. There's the Charbelcher. So we are dead here, but we'll make our opponent activate it just so we can see their entire deck. Okay, and sideboarding Leyline Sanctity makes sense. Leylines don't make sense, balls don't make sense. So what do we know about Chelsea? Chelsea 1 was fine. Karn's potentially too slow. Damn, we might not need. It does deal with the Furies, but I don't think Fury is what we're concerned about here. Void Mirror doesn't stop their Ironcrag feat, does it? No. Damning Sphere looks good, actually. With, like, there's still been good options for Karn to grab in, like, Trinisphere, Liquid Metal Coating, Chalice of the Void. Yeah, let's bring in Damning Sphere as well and just cut the dams because they shouldn't have many targets and we can kill the Furies with like Vindicates and stuff as well. So let's run it back like that. We would like to play first. We have the Damping Sphere. Ooh, Prismatic Ending is one I probably actually should have cut over Dam. I forgot about that. Well, that's potentially fine. We'll keep this. Opponent's Mulligan to 5. We'll lead on Rosfell Bridge. I suppose the one advantage of Prismatic Ending is they can take out their treasures if they strike it rich or anything. I think I would still rather Dam, though, for being able to take out Fury while Prismatic Ending can't. Okay, tap land from our opponent. We draw a mountain. Gonna put out flags here, because I want to actually try and destroy that flags if possible. Just lay Damning Sphere and pass it back. Okay, tap land from our opponent. And back to us. Hopefully this Damping Sphere can do a lot of work for us. So I've got options here. I can Vindicate one of their lands, or I can Wildfire to ramp myself and draw a card. I think it's Wildfire. I'm just going to hit my Rustvale Bridge. So we can already Legend of all these flags. I don't think it really matters what I choose here. Okay, we'll get Basic Plains. It's the only basic left in our deck. Leyland's not a bad draw. I think we just play out the extra flags here. Just get a Mardu Triumph into play. Alrighty, pass it back to our opponent. Interesting to see what they do here. But yeah, I think next time we might just play this Leyline and hope it's enough to stop them being able to combo kill us. Recross the paths, okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I've seen Pact of the Titan, which I was concerned that there was some way they were going to like force us to cast, but I can't see anything. What I can see is it looks like it's a combo with Infernal Plunge, that they make the giant of Pact of the Titan and then sack it to Infernal Plunge for mana. So that's probably some kind of a pile they set up with Reforge the Soul. But as far as I can tell, their only win condition is still Goblin Charbelcher, so Leyline of Sanctity should be enough. Although we did see Nature's Claim. So we have Clash, we've revealed Lingering Souls. They've revealed Turn Timber Symbiosis. Okay. I'll just put Souls on the bottom, I guess. I mean, we did see Nature's Claim, so they might be able to answer Leyline that way. But also we've got Damping Sphere, so maybe we just Vindicate a land that's going to be good enough. I'm just going to play a Leyline Sanctity, because they feel like they have to deal with this and the Damping Sphere. So maybe that Nature's Claim is going to try, they're going to put it on top as part of a Reforge the Soul pile to deal with Damping Sphere, but Leyline might still get them. Alright, we'll pass turn with that. Okay, our opponent starts with Strike and Rich. That's interesting. So this is going to make their next spell cost more Damping Sphere. Maybe they're just setting up for like a better next turn. But I mean, they did recross the paths. But yeah, I think I should have left Lingering Souls on the top just as like a way to actually start closing out this game. I just, because of their Fury, doesn't feel like a good option. Nahiri is a very good draw. So let's get Nahiri into play. We're just going to pitch the mountain. Another Vindicate's nice. So we're going to play at the swamp here, and we are just going to Prismatic Ending their treasure. Because they spent their whole last turn doing this, so that makes me think that this is hoping to set up for like a good following turn. So hopefully this buys time for Nahiri. And the reason I play at the swamp there and I'm casting for 2 is because my Damping Sphere attacks. Because I cast the Nahiri, I do have to at least pay colorless in addition to the white. Our opponent appears to be casting something. Okay, they're going to Nature's Claim a ley line. Sure. If we get to survive next time, we are just going to double Vindicate lands and hopefully ride Nahiri to victory. Although we do need another untapped land to be able to cast both Vindicates. Our opponent's very quickly casting that Manamorphose. I'm interested to know how they're going to get through this Damping Sphere right now. Oh, they're reforging the soul before their draw? Okay. Interesting. They must have stacked it in a way. Yeah, okay. That gets rid of my Vindicates. Ooh, Chelsea's in an awful draw. Wouldn't have minded a boom bust though. So surely this is setting up for their following turn, I would imagine. Or what can I get with Karn that could help us here? Okay, we found Lingering Souls. It's pretty free to just tick up near here and discard a land here. Drew another Karn. Okay, let's look at the sideboard. So what we've got, we can get a 2-drop with Karn. Trinisphere would be ideal. Liquid Metal Coating can take them off a land. We've also got our Chalice in hand, so we can Chalice for up to 3. I can't imagine what their hand could be. Because they can't win through this Damping Sphere, surely. Because if they Ironcrag Feet, then they need just, what, 1 more land? So that's probably what they do. Play land, Ironcrag Feet, get 7, pay the extra 1 for the Belcher, and activate Belcher. So being able to Vindicate a land would have been good here. Well, I assume... Wait, hold on. Where's Ironcrag Feet? It is a sorcery, okay. I think because all their rituals, none of them can actually put them up on mana anymore, I don't think. So we think if they Pact to the Titan, then their Infernal Plunge costs 2 and gets them 3. So that does put them up on mana. Still think I have to do this. So we Karn. Downtick the Karn. Yeah, we just have to get Liquid Metal Coating. We'll set an upkeep stop and just target one of their lands, because this is essentially a land destruction spell. Oh, and they scoop it up. Okay, so I guess that was good enough. I'm still not 100% sure. Okay. So I think blowing up their treasure is actually more realistic than destroying their fury. As weird as that sounds. I still like having the Damping Sphere in the main. The chalices look really good, actually. But I think, I kind of want the 4th chalice over the Spikefield Hazard, but playing Karn and immediately getting a chalice to play on 0 still seems fine. So I think we just run it back. Alright, we can set a chalice on 0. We can turn to Boom. We can turn to Wildfire. Yeah, I think that's got to be a keep. Wildfire is actually better than Boom here, because they have no basics, so Wildfire actually just straight up takes them off the land. Damping Sphere is a good draw. We play the Cave, we'll play Chalice on 0, and pass. Next one we'll Wildfire, because it's going to draw us a card, and it's probably just going to be better than this Damping Sphere, I would imagine, which can just die to a Nature's Claim. Okay, they strike it rich. Play a tap land, sure. Okay, Emrakul's a bad draw. We'll take them off red. We know they need triple red for Ironcrag Feet. Nice, they failed to find a basic. I found a Flag Stones, which makes booming next turn very good. Okay, they take 3 to put the Emeria in. I don't know what that means. Yeah, still no reason to not just boom here, I don't think. We drew land, so maybe we can hold this to bust later. Yeah, let's just play a Damping Sphere. Doesn't look like they can get triple red to cast an Ironcrag Feet. Resolved very quickly, okay. Just pass back. Would have been nice to have a Prismatic Ending here to take down that treasure. Actually, we couldn't have. Well, we could have. We did it before Damping Sphere. Oh, Valakut Awakening, okay. I think I'm happy for them to give up the treasure for that. They must just be really desperate to find more lands here. Ooh. Okay, they just flash back Striker Rich. That's totally fine. So if we can't, they just can't use this treasure, which is the same as destroying a land this turn. So I think that's good. Or I could just uptick on the treasure. That's probably safer. What do I want out of my sideboard? I've already got Chalice on 0. So I could grab Coding now, so next time I can start destroying lands. That's probably good enough. I don't really need to uptick on this treasure, considering Karn is already turning it off. So grab Coding and pass. So next turn we'll get to Coding Destroy a Land and Boom Destroy a Land. So they need to win this turn, and I've essentially destroyed a land and taken them off this treasure. And I've got Damping Sphere in play and Chalice on 0. They take 3 to put their land into play, they just play out the Belcher. Okay, so what does that change for me then? They just played out the Belcher. So if they can take out Karn and have 3 mana to activate the Belcher, I die next turn. I think taking out 2 of their lands is still really good. Yes, taking out 2 of their lands is still really good. Because to get a... Because, yeah, they need 3 mana to activate the Belcher, and they need to deal with Karn somehow. So, let's boom. I'm just going to keep taking them off red. And now we're coding. We will once again coding their red source. And Karn will take out that red source. Okay, so, I mean, if they deal with Karn, they do get a mana in that treasure. But I still think I'm in a really good spot. They need to win this turn, or I just get to vindicate that Charbelcher. They have the land, okay. Manamorphose, okay. Just draws you a card opponent. You lose a mana in that exchange. They get a green. So they're going to blow up Damping Sphere maybe here. Okay, they just pass, not using that mana. Okay, just going to blow up another land. And I'm going to vindicate... I'm going to vindicate the Charbelcher just to be super duper safe. And they concede, alright. 2-1 against Goblin Charbelcher. Let's go into match number 2. Right, match number 2, we get to be on the play again. Yes, thank you. This is a turn 2 Wildfire or Boom. Yeah, this is good. We'll keep. We have a nice artifact land here. Random mulligans to 6. Okay, so we'll start off with a Drossforge Bridge and just pass it back to our opponent. Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. Copperline Gorge? What does that tell us? Because that doesn't feel like goblins. Because they've led on a mana dork. I haven't really drawn anything I want to play. If I had like a counter in here, it'd make this wildfire better. I think I just want to like slow us both down a little. Let's go with that. The only reason to not boom now is that I could bust later, which with this hand I'm not looking to bust. Oh, is this Shaman Tribal? Okay. Interesting. Dam's a good draw, so I'm going to look to overload that. So I'll play out the Godless Shrine to be our second white source for this, and I'm going to wildfire my Drossforge Bridge to get me basic planes to fix me into double white. And drew the Sacred Foundry, lovely. We'll just pass it back. And whatever they do here, because they played this, which is probably their key card, I am just going to overload a Dam this turn, on my next turn. Okay, so we might take a little bit of damage here, but wrapping this board is going to be pretty good for us. So we got Prismatic Ending. So we could just ending something. I think I'd rather Wrath now though, and ending like whatever happens afterwards. That's fine. We can also just like double Lingering Souls next turn, so that's kind of cool. Back to your opponent. They do have a third land. Okay. They've got 3 cards left in hand, and they're just passing back to us, so that makes me feel like they've got a Collected Company in hand. Not that there's anything I could do about it. Let's just play a Lingering Souls. Flashback the Lingering Souls. There is the temptation to not play a Sacred Foundry here, so that, like, because really the only reason to get to 6 lands is to be able to bust. I suppose I have to keep this if I bust. Yeah, I'll just play out the Sacred Foundry. So I think if I drew bust here, I would still go for it. Okay, they have a Harmonic Prodigy, so I'm thinking they drew that for the turn. I'm thinking they were hoping to find another lands like Coco. They put a Rage Forger on top of their deck. Okay. 2 Prismatic Ending. So I think I want to Prismatic Ending this, and the next turn Prismatic Ending the Rage Forger. So let's just slap that down. And we're going to start the beat down now. Both sides of Lingering Souls making 4 total spirits. It's a pretty quick clock here. I could leave one back to like block this Flamekin Harbinger, but if this is a problem, I can just ending it. And not having the Harmonic Prodigy means this only gets 1 trigger, so I'm kind of okay with this just being a 2-2. Okay, so they attack, trigger hits me for 1, they hit me for 2. Then I'm just going to end this Rage Forger, and then they get to what, hit me for 2 every turn, and I'm hitting them for 4. Okay, attack with everybody, and pass it back. So they have a land, so if they do have a Coco, this could be bad for us here. They do indeed have the Coco like we thought. Let's see what they hit. Worst case, I'll just turn to defense mode here. They've conceded, okay. They must hit absolute garbage off that Coco. Let's go to Sideboarding. So the Rage Forge targets, but I think it's more there for the +1 counters. I don't think Leyline the Void does much. What in my deck doesn't do anything? Everything seems good. It's just that, like, you know, Karn might be a little slow. Maybe Chalice isn't... Chalice probably isn't at its best. being a creature deck, there's not much I can do to like mess with them. I suppose I could just bring in ley lines over chalices. You know, there's enough one drops. I don't even hate just leaving in chalice. Bring in one ley line over one chalice. It's like the miser's chalice. Yeah, nothing else really does anything. Let's just go with that. This hand seems very slow. We do have ending. Problem is we don't have a land of our own that we want to wildfire. We have Nahiri. Yeah, we'll just keep. Mostly based on the strength of this prismatic ending, I think. Cavern of Souls is a good reason to board out chalices. They have a noble. But I don't have double black for this dam. But oh well. Let's end this ignoble hierarch. And pass to them. I'll actually wildfire this cavern next time. That seems pretty reasonable. Elvish Visionary, sure. Drew Bloodstained Mire. Yeah, so they're just going to wildfire away their Cavern of Souls just in case we draw a chalice later and it ends up being relevant. Spikefoot has a good draw. I like that. So next time we can fetch up a swamp, we can dam and we can hold up Spikefield Hazard. Well, they're going straight into combat, getting in for one. And they have a Goblin Anarchomancer. Well, a bit late for you, Mr. Fetid Heath. Did they miss a land drop? I suppose this is just as good as a land drop though, isn't it? Yes, let us... Well, do I want to hold dam? Do I want to hold dam when they get a better board state? I can dam next turn, so yeah, let's just vindicate this knucklehead. Actually, because I can dam next turn, let's just vindicate a land. So they'll get a turn of like being able to like vomit out their hand if they can off this land in this cost reduction. But then I get to wipe it all away with dam next turn. And if they do nothing here, I get to dam them and leave them with just a mountain in play, which also seems very good. Oh, this is even better. They're going to put a creature on top. Oh, they chose not to use its ability. That makes sense. Ooh, we drew Boom Bust. I like that. Yeah, so we'll say Boom Bust. We are just going to get basic Swamp here, I believe. And Overloaded Dam. Boom. Pass it back. I suppose Boom wasn't the correct thing to say there. Should be Damn. Another Visionary. Okay. What do we got? Oh, beautiful draw. Beautiful draw. So there is a consideration to play out Nahiri here, but because I drew that, I kind of just want to boom away a land and pass it back. I just want to hold this spike that has a case that are like specifically land mana dog, I guess. Okay, so they have actual nothing. That's really good for me. I'm going to leave up the Spikefield Hazard. Suppose I'll leave it up on my indestructible land. Going to do the cheeky play here. Play out Nahiri. Tick up, pitching Lingering Souls. Oh, baby. Boom Bust. That'll be good for next turn. Pass our opponent. If the Visionary wants to attack Nahiri, I will spend the hazard to protect her. They are attacking Nahiri, so I am just going to say no thank you. Spikefield Hazard showing that it's a pretty decent card there. Okay, so by Triome. So there's no point busting. No point trying to bust, I don't think, because destroying one lands is as good as destroying two here. I'm going to cycle this Survive Triome though. Lingering Souls, awesome. We'll discard that Lingering Souls, find a Prismatic Ending. We will boom, we'll target our Indestructible land on one of their lands. This will probably be a concession. No? Okay. And there's the concession. We win the match 2-0 against Shaman Tribal. Let's get into match number 3. Alright, here we go. We've got the opponent for match number 3 with Mardu Nahiri Boom. We won the die roll yet again. It's always good. Yeah, this hand's solid. Gotta keep. So we have a bit of a dilemma here where we kind of want to boom onto. We've also got these two chalices. So maybe playing a chalice out on 0 early is a good idea, but also it kind of doesn't matter, right? Because if we're playing chalice on 0, we can kind of do it at any point. We can maybe get some information on what our opponent's up to along the way. The only concern is hand hate, at which point maybe it's best to play a chalice on 1 on turn 2. So I think either way, we're just going to lead Rustvale Bridge and pass. Alright, our opponent's kept their 7, and they've led on a Gemstone Caverns, which leads me to believe that they may be on Elementals. And they've pitched Bonecrusher Giants, so that heavily implies Elementals. Okay. Which means that I am just going to lead on a Chalice on 0 to see if they, like, force a negation or something. Okay, resolve. So we'll play out our Rustvale Bridge. And our plan is next turn, fetch up, I want to say, Golden Shrine with the Bloodstained Mire and boom away, probably that Triome. Okay, the Suspended Crashing Footfalls. Found Lingering Souls. Okay. Now, the reason I'm getting Gold's Shrine here is so that I am perfectly set up for if I draw a dam that I could overload it. Boom. Now, both of my opponent's lands tap for multiple colors. I'm taking out the Triumph. There's not really any good reason except that they might have more than one Gemstone Cavern, so it might just give them a few worse top decks. They let that result, so I assume they don't have any Force Negations. The only thing they could really have is a Petty Theft, try and bounce this Chalice the turn before they attempt to Cascade. Okay. Prismatic Ending. Doesn't really do anything for us here. So I think it is just play Spikefield Hazard as a land and pass. Hope you draw an untapped land next turn to play out Nahiri. Okay, opponent fetches an answer. Get the Stomping Ground untapped. So this is probably a stomp then. Oh, there's the Petty Theft. Okay. Which means they're probably gonna cascade into a Crushing Footfalls here. No? Okay. They're gonna do no response to me casting this Chalice, I guess. Okay, go for it, opponent. Show me your moves. Yup. Okay. Burst cascades into Crushing Footfalls. You got it. Now my Chalice comes down. I'm going to boom away the Gemstone Caverns and Prismatic Ending one of the Rhinoceri. So our opponent, at the end of all this, our opponents fought very hard to get a single 4/4 Trampler into play. And it's cost them like their entire hand. So looking alright here. If we draw a untapped land, we can play out Nahiri and take out this other Rhino. Okay, get in for 4. Otherwise, we can just like slowly cast both sides of this Lingering Souls and like all 4 of the souls can trade for it, I guess. Sure, I stand one of my lands, that's fine. Draw another Nahiri. We can't do anything, so we'll just pass back. My opponent needs something to deal with my Chalice again now that this other Crushing Footfalls is coming off suspend. It's unfortunate that I haven't found like a dam or anything yet. Okay, our opponent does not have an answer to the Chalice, so that just gets countered. So they're still just left with this 4 for Rhino. They found a land, okay. This land's probably going to try and bring in this Brazen Borrower, I would imagine. Left was getting pretty low here. We do have a lot of good draws, though. Dam was not one of the best, only because we don't have double black. But at least this Lingering Souls should deal with the Brazen Borrower. And then we just need to find a way to deal with this Rhino, either an untapped land. Yeah, basically just untapped land, really. It's annoying that our draws have lined up in a way that we have 3 answers to this Rhino, and all of them require an untapped land. Prismatic Ending would be a good draw. Prismari Command, popping my Chalice, sure. So as long as they don't do anything this turn, I still have another Chalice to play to still keep me safe. We'll just take this because, worst case, we can flashback Lingering Souls and use all 4 tokens to block this Rhino. They have the Shardless Agent. Okay. So, untapped land for this dam would be perfect. Untapped land. Show me untapped land. Awesome. Okay, so we'll get basic swamp. Overload the dam. Let's go to combat first. Might as well get in our 2 free damage. Overload the dam. Beautiful. Play out our Chalice on 0 once more. And pass to our opponent. So all they have is this Brazen Borrower, and we are going to flashback our Lingering Souls to make sure that it can't do anything. Another dam's not bad. I just can't afford to take damage from this, so flashback Lingering Souls and pass it over to our opponent. Because like, the only thing is to get them out of here is like doing this and then like firing to pop both of these, but then the fire would have been able to kill me anyway in conjunction with this attack. Yeah, Brazen Borrower, you got it. Got something. Yeah, they have the fire. Okay. Like I said, if they had attacked me for 3, one of the damage from that fire would have finished me off regardless, so they have a stomp or another fire, I'm dead here, but I was dead to that regardless. Probably just thrown both burn spells in my face if that was the case. Well, that's a dead card. Let's play Nahiri. Going to down take on the Brazen Borrower and pass back to our opponent. Pretty tight spot here. Any of their burn spells just kill us here. Thankfully, we've finally gotten to board state where any of their cascade spells aren't good, but we are still not looking great. So these lands are useless. We can't afford to fetch with them. I am just going to play out a new Nahiri so we can get up to 6 this turn. So we're also to do a Brazen Borrower now, but like, except for drawing exactly Lingering Souls or Spikefield Hazard, there wasn't much I could do about that. Okay, it's their turn. They've drawn a card. Looks like it was the Scalding Tarn. Okay, we're getting the turn back. Our opponent passes back to us doing nothing. 2 lands off being able to cast Bust. At this point, I don't need 2 dams. plains. I will play out the plains. Question is, do I boom or do I wait for a bust? The bust will take me 2 turns. So I think I just boom here. What am I scared of? I mean, I can't really protect from everything, can I? Because I've got double blue anyway. They're going to have a red anyway, so I don't think it really matters. What is this? Sure, force negation, okay. Okay, so they need to draw something this turn, because they are dead to my Nahiri Ultimate. Can't imagine the deck has Solitude, so yeah, they're just dead to my Nahiri Ultimate. So they need to draw something this turn. No. And they drew 5. I suppose I should have Chelsed on 2. I should have Chelsed on 2. So they would have just counted anyway, so that's fine. Let's go to game 2. Not much I want to change. I kind of like leaving these in the board to find. The boils I do like. What don't I like? Dam's really good. Vindicate's good. Souls is not at its best here. I select the land structure and the Karn's fine. Do I just cut the Karns actually? Do I just cut the Karns and bring in like... Is there any of these? Trinisphere? Trinisphere is fine. Sphed's fine. Damning Sphere's fine. Let's see, if I was to cut the Karns, I definitely want to bring the boils. And then like... I suppose it'd be like some number of these. At that point, is it better to just leave Karn in? Probably not, I think. Prismatic Ending's fine, I think. If I could just like cut the Spikefield Hazard. Maybe Lingering Souls isn't at its best, although it does block Brazen Borrower. Okay, so I think I definitely got Lingering Souls. The question is whether I leave in Karn. Let's have a look at... Trinisphere is one I would rather leave in the board to find with Karn. Same with Chalice, I think. I don't think having 4 Chalice is necessary. Yeah, and I think bringing these in is fine. Let's bring in these and just cut the Lingering Souls. Yeah, see, I don't think I want to bring in Damping Sphere. Spikefield Hazard doesn't do that much. Let's bring in Damping Sphere, because like, I like leaving this in the board to find for the turn I play Karn. Let's do that. Get to play first. I don't think this 7 is doing it. We'll mulligan this. Well, I think I can keep... Boom into Boil seems fine. Alright, they've kept their 7, so we'll keep our 6, which is with the Blood Gripped back. Let's go with these fetches. I can kind of worry about that later. Alright, draw Forge Bridge and pass. Next I'm just going to play Flagstones and boom. Thankfully our opponent didn't have a gemstone that hand. Maybe that's why they were considering mulliganing. We fetch already. That's really good for us in our boom plan. Oh, they're just going to suspend footballs here. That's fine. Unfortunately, we are going to boom away an island here. That just means they're going to get more islands for a boil, right? The reason I'm leaving the Flagstones line here is because I do potentially want to bust later on. Oh, they forced, okay. I do want to bust later on, so having 2 lands that would survive a bust is pretty nice. Red plays a Scalding Tarn and just passes it back. Prismatic Ending's not doing much, so which basic are we likely to want? We're likely to want Swamp. We're just likely to not care about Mount, so we'll play that fetch. So we're going to want this to get a basic to boil with. Okay, this is likely the turn they're going to go for it. They only have 2 lands. Ooh-wee. I'll just get Svitrime. I don't know why I'm thinking so much about that. Another Flagstones, okay. We'll just play our Marsh Flats and pass. As soon as our opponent grabs an island here, I'm going to boil. They don't grab an island, okay. I guess they're leaving their fetch uncracked to give them more chance of drawing lands. I think we're happy just chilling here. I'm still going to grab a basic. This is kind of insurance against Blood Moon. I'm going to grab a basic swamp and I'll grab a basic island for this Flagstones legend rule. Well, in that case, I'll just play this Dross Forge to make future busts better. I really want my opponent to fetch up an island. Here we go. Best part is this is during our opponent's turn, so they can't force a negation here. They will get their rhinos out, but I feel like, especially with the Prismatic Ending in hand, I feel like I can recover from these rhinos pretty well. You played right into my boil, opponent. Okay, float some mana. We're in your upkeep, so hope you have something cool to do with that mana. They get their rhinos, they do not use their mana. They have a forest. And back to me. Oh well, we will Prismatic Ending one of you. Unfortunate that there's no value in busting, but there is a lot of value in booming. It's the same as busting here, so I'm not going to complain about that. We will boom away the flagstones just to make it simpler for playing the second flagstones. There's really no other reason that I need to do it like this. Could have just easily targeted a Dross Forge Bridge. I'll get basic planes just in case of Blood Moon. Play out another flagstones and pass it over to my opponent. So I just need to find an answer for this Rhino and then a way to win the game. That's all. That's all. And if my opponent plays out like a single island, I'm probably just going to boil it. They get in for force. This is a 5-turn clock, or more realistically, a 4-turn clock with the potential to fire or stomp us out of the game from there. Defense grid, I kind of non-bows with boil, but it is going to be very painful for our opponent. Like a 7-mana boil is still going to be fine. This just stops our opponent's force negations from doing anything. Like it stops them being able to do much of anything to us, really. They found a Scalding Tarn. They get in for another 4. What do we draw? Chalice of the Void. Jesus. Well, gonna play it out. We're running out of turns here. We have, what, 4 Vindicates, 4 Dams, 4 Nahiris, 3 Karns, 3 Prismatic Endings. All good draws here. All good draws. All of them either start closing the game out or deal with this Rhino to buy us more time to close the game out. Alright, we're down to 6. The next Rhino attack is the one that drops us to the scary 2. Press discard hands. They do discard Blood Moon. Okay, Vindicate. Thank you, deck. Thank you. Okay, now we've got like all the time in the world to find a win condition. I wouldn't be surprised if my opponent didn't even scoop there. They're holding up the Scalding Tarn very tightly. If I had to relate a spell, I might just throw it at the Tarn just to force them to act so I can then like boil. Karn, that'll do. That'll do. Okay, so we're gonna use Karn. I think I just want to grab Trinisphere. Yeah, I'm just gonna grab Trinisphere to start with. This might be good enough for a concession. Because what we've got Scalding Tarns, no much point grabbing Liquid Metal Coating. I could, in their end, have Liquid Metal Coating to force them to pop, otherwise it remains an artifact throughout my turn and I can uptick Karn on it. That was my consideration, but ooh, okay. This is just going to take out my Karn. But Trinisphere is still... Yeah, they had to do this now because Trinisphere just ruins this plan, which is part of the reason I wanted to grab Trinisphere. Just unfortunate I couldn't deploy Trinisphere in the same turn. But this also makes it better than the Liquid Metal Coating. Okay. Play the Trinisphere. Probably should have done this in the other order. It doesn't really matter. Play the Void Mirror, which is kind of just like an extra Trinisphere. There's just like a million ways that our opponent is not getting to cast spells. They need to take out the Chalice and the Void Mirror if they ever want to resolve a Cascade again, but then that Cascade will cost 3 thanks to Trinisphere, which means they'll need 6 mana. They have to do it Sorcery Speed because of Defense Grid. And if they get to like 2 lands, I'm just going to boil them. Like if they have nothing to do and they at any point get an island to play, I'm just going to boil. Okay, Fetid Heath is a 7th land, so we have actual no use for that. Because we still have the option of busting, and this would just be a land that just gets destroyed for no good reason, and it'd be a really good one to recover with post-bust. So we will hold on to it here. Alright, we found a Nahiri. Let's get her into play and start trying to win the game. We will discard the Fetid Heath here. While it is good for post-bust, at this point I'm not needing to win the game post-bust. If I bust and have no lands, I'd be fine because I have Nahiri in play and they would have nothing, so just digging towards cards that have text would be nice. Ooh, I like that. This kind of forces the issue here. If they want to negate my Wildfire, they'll have to pop this to get a land to sack this to draw with. I forgot I have Trinisphere in play. Never mind. That'll be good for next turn. We can like do that and potentially like follow up with Boil. I don't know how my opponent expects to win through all of this. Another Cleansing Wildfire? That's really good. Let's just start firing those puppies off. And they concede to that. Alright, let's go into game number 3. With our sideboarding, do we want to bring like this Chalice back in? We probably do. I don't actually think Damping Sphere is going to do that much. It was like Defense Grid and Void Mirror both seem good. Let's just do that. If I deploy a Karn, I'm just going to like grab a Trinisphere or something anyway. I think I'd rather just have more chance to find Chalice as soon as possible. Force them to deal with it. Okay, so we have to be on the draw here. This hand's honestly good. I'm just going to keep. The only thing that can make it better would be a Chalice and 0, but I assume my opponent's got interaction for that. So we've got a nice Dam to play towards here, which will help us recover. Got a Void Mirror or Wildfire that we can play out on 2 potentially. Ending's not bad either, so we'll just lead on our tap lane and pass back. If they ice us, it's not the best for us, but like we've got a lot of stuff to do to recover. So they need like force negation as well as a bunch of other stuff. Which is why if they don't ice us, I'm just going to lead on Void Mirror here. Awesome. So they have to interact with this Void Mirror. This stops them from being able to cast anything. They're crashing footfalls when they cascade into it. This also stops them from being able to evoke any of their elementals. It stops them from being able to use Force Negation or Force of Vigor because no colored matter is spent to cast those things. So all around, this is great for us. If I can draw a land and Mitigate next, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm just going to Wildfire my Drossforge Bridge to ramp us. So I'm thinking this is going to be a Petty Theft into a Cascade spell, which I'm kind of happy to just like ending a Rhino if need be. Yep, there's the Petty Theft. Okay. So they have to have a Cascade spell here, or that was a very pointless move. Okay, so they've got Violent Outburst as their Cascade spell by the look of it. Cleansing Wildfire. I really just want to have more lands. We're going to get punished here for not having enough lands. I think I just have to Wildfire because I want to just draw lands toward being able to do some of these other things. Now, do I want basic plains or basic swamp? It's tough, actually. Because if I grab swamp, if they have rhinos, I can dam a rhino and ending a rhino. No, it's better to just grab plains and just ending 2 rhinos, isn't it? Let's just do that. We draw a Brassvale Bridge. That's a pretty good draw. Play that as our land drop and pass to our opponent. So assuming that they're going to Violent Outburst here. Yep. So what I'm going to do next turn is I'm going to Void Mirror, force any action from them then and there, and then I'm just going to ending the 2 rhinos. Even though Overloading Dam is arguably better, this like forces anything they have to be done immediately. Probably should have not tapped Rustfell Bridge there, just in case I change my mind, decide I want a Wildfire. Is this another Footfalls? Oh no. Well, on the plus side, they can't do it again after this Void Mirror resolves. Okay. Still going to ending 2 rhinos. So that'll put us to 4, which isn't ideal. But it's the best we got right now, so... Yep, their attack's down to 4. Suspended Crashing Footfalls, okay. Survive Triome. Okay, so... I'll play the Triome. And I just have to Overload Dam and hope that this is good enough. They will get to flash in this Brazen Borrower. I have a Dam to kill that. The fact they're catching him makes me think they have Force Negation. I'm just screwed anyway. Yep, and they've got the Force Negation, so we'll concede that one to our opponent. Alright, let's get ready for match number 4. Alright, we won the die roll again for match number 4 with Mardu Nahiri Boom. So we'll go first yet again. Been lucky for that today. Okay, so this hand has a turn 2 Wildfire, turn 2 Boom. We can keep those. Got Lingering Souls, Prismatic Heading, kind of great cards to go with it. So I'll definitely get a white toss on this Bloodstained Mire. It's definitely going to be Godless Shrine because we do want to end up with double black for Dam. Now our opponent hasn't given us anything to target there, so we'll play out the plains. We'll just Wildfire ourselves here to ramp towards this Karn. Okay. We'll grab basic swamp here because we've already got a red source that's pretty safe. We drew the mountain anyway. And pass it back to them. Our opponent is fetching. Let's see. I assume they're blue-white control. They have to have a companion. Zagoth Triome. The Yorian's their companion. So Zagoth Triome and Hallowed Fountain. What does that tell us? And a Wall of Omens. Okay, so there's some sort of a flicker deck. So I'm going to lead Karn here. Now, unfortunately, when I had more of a wish board, I did have a Torpor Orb in here, which would be fantastic in this matchup. Fortunately, I do not. So we are just going to get Liquid Metal Coating and start the land destruction plan. Pass back to our opponent. Okay, polluted Dells from our opponent. They're just passing back. I will start by trying to take out their Hallowed Fountain. Don't want to leave up any other options. I don't think so. So we will boom. This forces some action out of them here. Okay, they're floating the mana, so I'm just going to move into my second main phase here and force them to use this mana now. They do nothing with it, so we'll play out our Liquid Metal Coating. They almost definitely did answer this. Okay, fetching very quickly in response here. We got Hallowed Fountain. So I assume they have Counterspell here. Yep, cool. I will down tick my Karn here. I think I'll get Relic of Progenitus. Gonna take some damage from my fetch here, because we will need a shock. I'll just get Godless Shrine. Play out the Relic. And pass. So I've got the relic here because I can use it to put this coding back into exile so that Karn can look for it. Prismatic ending on the relic. Okay, well, it's still going to do the job here. I'm going to put this coding into exile where Karn can collect it. So their ending's going to resolve, but that's fine. And back to us. Flagstone's lovely. So just going to tick up on nothing here. Then I'm going to try and play out the new Karn. See if my opponent can interact with this. No, they can't. Okay. Down tick. We will get the liquid metal coating back. Play flagstones and replay a liquid metal coating. Do you have another counterspell opponent? Was this like main deck Dovin's veto? Oh, Faithful Manning, sure. Okay, so they care enough about their graveyard that my relic was threatening. Discarded 2 Teferis to it. Okay. Okay, this resolves. So instead of stopping my opponent's upkeep and pass to them, in their upkeep, I will turn off their Mystic Gate, I suppose. No, let's turn off Hallowed Fountain. Because if they want to use the Mystic Gate for mana, it makes it harder for them to like hold up counter magic in my turn. It's going to flashback a Mend here. That's really good for us. Okay, so this card, a Glacial Fortress and another Teferi. Okay. This means I get to start blowing up lands with liquid metal coating. Okay, Fetid Heath doesn't do much. I think I will go after Mystic Gate now. Explode that. Then we are just going to cast both sides of Lingering Souls, I guess. Is there any point to holding on to it? No, I'm just going to cast both sides. Might be wrong, but I don't care. Pass to our opponent. Opponent's fetch with Marsh Flats. The only reason I think to hold the Lingering Souls there is if our opponent like has to waste a Wrath on half, but then we get to cast the other half. But I think doing this and like definitely force them into a Wrath is just really good for us. Forces them to tap out and just lets us keep destroying lands. Another Faithful Meaning? Okay. Discarded Glacial Fortress and another Teferi? Okay. So discarded 3 3-mana Teferis and 1 5-mana Teferi. Okay, back to us. Gee, our opponent's not doing a lot considering they're losing a land every turn. I think I'm going to take a Zagoth Triumph just stop them being able to Prismatic Ending Karn. I think that's pretty reasonable because this is here mostly so they can Prismatic Ending for 4. Get in for 4. So our opponent can flash back another Faithful Mending and gain some more life, but it's kind of inevitable here. I think we kind of got this. Need to take the stop off my opponent's upkeep for now. Ending liquid metal coating, sure. Now they've done that, I'm going to put the stop back on their upkeep. Okay, so first things first, we'll use Karn to grab the liquid metal coating, which is in my exile pile. Play the liquid metal coating. If they have a counter for this, then my Nahiri gets to resolve. They do not. I assume that means they don't have a counter. Here we're just going to discard Flagstones. Alright, found a Blood Crypt, that's kind of whatever. Get in with all of our spirits again. And in my opponent's upkeep, we will Coating Hallowed Fountain. So this bought them a turn where I'm not destroying their lands, but I mean, it's still not great for them. So we'll go after a Hallowed Fountain again. Goodbye, Hallowed Fountain. We'll tick up Nahiri. Now, discarding Lingering Souls is normally pretty good, but I mean, we just have more lands than we care about. Wildfire's nice. Yeah, I think I want to get the Wildfire, cast both halves of Lingering Souls. Let's try and cast this side of Lingering Souls. Okay, let's just get in with our 4 souls that we currently have. I think the important thing is keeping Nahiri around here, so I'm just going to flash back the souls to protect her. But I want to leave them as a backup. I think I want to leave them as a backup for Wrath. Let's just try and take our opponent off some mana here. Okay, so they've floated mana before letting that go. Chalice. Not the right time for Chalice. I'm worried about Solitude, actually, for when I ult and get my Emrakul. That's fine. My opponent's dead to the spirits anyway. They're just flashing back Mending, sure. Okay, they get their Water Grave, so another Wall Moment, sure, doesn't do anything. Colonnade, sure. And they concede. Alright, let's go to game number 2 against 4 color control, Esper control. Boils looked pretty good there. As did Defense Grid. And Layla of the Voids looks fine because they had Faithful Mending. I'd assume that's just not a value card because it's kind of bad as just a value card. Surely they have something to do with their graveyard. Or maybe that's just a reason to like bring in Relic. I don't think that's true. I mean, I'm assuming Prismatic Ending's fine. Chalices are not at their best, but fine. I think I just want to cut Dam, maybe. It's hard to tell because they look like they should have been a Flicker deck with lots of like creatures with ETBs. I mean, Chalice is fine against them. Spikefield Hazard's probably not at its best here. Actually kind of like Spikefield Hazard against the Evoke creatures a little. It's probably wrong. I'll keep Spikefield Hazard because I'm worried that they are like using their graveyard for something, so this can like potentially be soft grave hate. Let's just get 3 dams for the boils on the defense grid here. I don't think there's any other 1 card that wants to come in over the last dam. Let's leave like that for now and see if we can work out what our opponent's up to. Alright, so our opponent's going to be on the play. They once again revealed Yorion. We have a 1-lander. Yeah, going to Mulligan. Because it's not even a good land. This is much better. We will keep and we'll just bottom a Bloodstained Mire. 3-land is fine. Gives us plenty of time to draw towards a 4th mana to start casting these. Opponent just leads on tapped Colonnade, which we love to see. Prismatic Ending is another card that I'm not sure is great in this matchup, but I like leaving in just for like cleaning up like Teferis and stuff. Swamp, Thoughtseize, sure. Probably taking Boombust here, considering it's going to destroy one of their lands next turn. That it does. That it does. Oh, love to see Defense Grid. Okay, I'm going to get... Not worried about Blood Moon from them, so I'm just worried about getting my colors set up. So I need double black, double white. So we'll just get Godless Shrine here, and then probably just get basic planes off the Marsh Flats. No, they have prismatic endings, but I think it's still right to run its defense grid here while they don't have counter magic up. That's a sad little Glacial Fortress, isn't it? This looks like prismatic ending on defense grid. I can draw like a Vindicate or something to do next turn, or even just a land to ensure I get to 4 mana. No prismatic ending. Okay, we did find Flagstones that guarantees our land drop. We will just pass it back. Interesting, our opponent's mana base is very resistant to boil right now, which is great for them, I'm sure. Hopefully, okay, Faithful Mending, sure. I am not concerned about a Faithful Mending. Archon of Cruelty and Solitude went to the graveyard. And they persist the Archon. Okay. We'll discard Prismatic Ending. How to deal with this, though? This is tough because I don't really want to play out my Planeswalkers into this Archon. And I also forgot to fetch, which was a mistake. So I get punished here in that I kind of have to grab this Swamp. Suppose it is just Karn get Tormod's Crypt. Yeah, it is just Tormod's Crypt. We'll play out the Tormod's Crypt. I don't want to pop it yet. I want to wait till an Archon hits the bin before I pop it. So they get to attack me here, force me to sack the Karn, and then next turn I get to resolve Nahiri, down tick on the Archon. I think that's fine. It's this little Teferi. Okay, probably bouncing defense grid, I would imagine. Yep. Which sucks for us, but not much I can do about that. Okay, we sacrifice Karn. And I think we discard defense grid. Because I actually didn't take that much counter magic from them. And we're just on the Nahiri plan now. Just have to hope and pray that this Nahiri resolves. Oh, come on, opponent. Don't be like this. Don't be like this, opponent. God, what a bastard. Alright. Like, you're allowed to have Teferi. Why wasn't I allowed to have Defense Grid, opponent? Defense Grid made it fair. This is dumb. So I'm very close to dead now. I yet again need this Nahiri to resolve. My opponent's passing back having done nothing. That's fucking frightening. Does this Nahiri resolve? It does. Okay. Fuck off, Archon of Cruelty. Goodbye. I am 1 land off being dead to this Colonnade next turn. Oh, I'm just dead to this Solitude. Nice. Alright. Game number 3. So, our opponent's definitely a fucking reanimated deck of some description, so I want these ley lines. I actually want my dams back too. Defense Grid's fine. Boils are fine. I only got, what, 5 cards? I actually don't mind Spikefield Hazard here. Lingering Souls are good. Not a fan of Prismatic Ending. Not a fan of Chalice either, honestly. Can I afford to get rid of all this? Bring 2 cards in. Leyline? Let's bring in 1 Leyline and a Relic. Because this Leyline actually stops their Archon, I believe. So let's do that. Be on the play for game 3. Show me Leyline of the Void. Okay, so we get to turn 2 Wildfire into turn 3. Cast Karn. Grab Tormod's Crypt. Doesn't do much for the like counterspell side of the deck, but I do have Damn. And Lingering Souls, yeah, it's probably a keep. Like, I only have brought in 2 Leyline of the Void, so Karn's kind of just as good, I think. They do have Thoughtseize, which is scary, but I mean, even though Thoughtseize is at the end of the world. Don't hate drawing Spikefield Hazard. Okay, Wildfire, Madras Forge Bridge. We'll grab basic Swamp. We drew another Drossforge Bridge. That's not the worst. Pass to our opponent. So next turn we fetch with Marsh Flats. Get Karn into play, or attempt to at least. Our opponent is threatening counter magic here, but they could also just be threatening Faithful Mending. I'm just going to run the Karn into potential counter magic here. They're the combo deck. They're the one that needs to do stuff. They have to counter spell. Okay, next turn we'll just like cast both sides of the Lingering Souls. So it's very good against counter magic. Maybe I should just cast half Lingering Souls there. Nahiri the Harbinger. Yeah. I'm assuming they're still holding up Mending. If they have another counterspell, good on them. Mending, awesome. That's good for me. More moments into Fairy, even better. Here, I assume the Spikefield Hazard doesn't do anything, so I don't need to hold it up. So I'm probably just going to play this Drossforge Bridge. So I don't think I need this Marsh Flats. Well, that was the one draw that made me look dumb. It's fine. Just play at a bridge pass. Brennan's just passing back. Love to see it. Leyline's not doing anything here, so we will just pitch that. Drew it back up to Nahiri. That's fine. Just cast Lingering Souls here. Brennan lets resolve, so we'll just cast this Relic now. So you get to hold up Spikefield Hazard. That resolves too. Okay. It's interesting. I didn't know that 3 animated decks were like 80 card Urian builds now. It's certainly something. They're probably just going to Faithful Mending here, I would imagine. Yep. Flashing back the Mending. What is this? Muldrifter. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hazard this in response just so they can't reanimate it. Watch this. Because if the opponent does away would die this turn, exiled instead. So the Muldrifter is going to die to its own evoke and will get sent to the Shadow Realm. Huh? Oh, they hardcast it. I'm a dum-dum. That's fine. So they need Solitude here or they are basically dead. Fuck off, they have the Solitude. What a bastard. Well, I'm just going to cast another Nahiri. Suppose. Don't need this Nahiri. Wish I could play that, but I cannot. Oh, Prismatic Ending on Nahiri. That's kind of rude. In fact, that's having this for green. I'm assuming that's what's happening. Yep. Draw a land. Great. Let's see if this defense grid resolves. It does. Okay. Just going to destroy this Muldrifter. And we will fetch Basic Mountain to Flashback Lingering Souls. I'm just going to start trying to beat our opponent to death. Which was dumb. I should have actually left up Relic Activation. That was a mistake. Okay, they've persisted back their Muldrifter. Thankfully it's a 1-1, so it trades with the Spirit here. They did get to draw 2 cards, which I'm not in love with. God, what is this? A hardcast Solitude? Oh, Teferi Hero. Okay. It's probably tucking Relic. Yeah, upticking makes a lot of sense too. I made some mistakes in this game, that's for sure. Alright, Wildfire's a redraw. Jesus Christ. It's just donk Teferi. Okay, Teferi goes up again. Thankfully, it looks like everyone's just chilling. Okay, they're attacking, so that probably means they have a Wrath. They bought Urian. Oh, that makes sense. Jeez, alright. I just need to draw something. Come on. I don't know if it's right, but I am going to bust here. They get to keep 3 lands, they get to keep 0. Let's try opponent. Alright, pass back to our opponent. This is, I think, the best way for us to get back in the game here. They do have Teferi, which is unfortunate for us, but they have no lands to untap with him. They do have a land to play, which is unfortunate. Ooh, Vindicate is nice. Get this Teferi out of here. And with Teferi gone on him, I think I'm in a pretty good place to start rebuilding. I mean, they've got a billion cards in hand, so they're probably just going to keep hitting land drops and probably get back into the game relatively quickly, but just... Oh, fuck, but when did that get in there? That's fucking bullshit. Alright, so I need to hit land and dam in a short amount of time. I will just kill your Muldrifter. Fuck me. I'm just going to die super quick from this. This is super unfortunate. I mean, I've misplayed relatively badly throughout this game, but I think the turning point was just the fact that they had the Solitude that they needed when I ultimated Lady Nahiri, which is super unfortunate that Solitude gets to deal with Emrakul, but it is a nice balance for Emrakul in the format. Okay. Well, they tried countering, but Defense Grid stopped them. Jeez, I don't even know how to get out of this. I'm going to go down to 9, and I don't know what. I go down to 6, so I need to draw exactly... It's fine. Exactly dam, so I can kill this into something to kill this. So I need exactly dam or vindicate. Oh no, I'm down to 2. So I'm just dead. Nice. Well done, opponent. Alright, so 2-2 going into match number 5 with Mardu Nahiri Boom. Alrighty, match number 5, and that makes 5 for 5 on being on the play, which for most modern decks would mean winning, but not for us. Unfortunately, we've got a handful of tap lands here, but we do have a bunch of super cool plays, so we are going to keep. Our opponent's mulliganed 3, which potentially means Tron, which potentially means I'm in a very good spot with this hand, because we have the Wildfire. Alright, they've kept a 3-lander. We'll lead on Drossforge, and is there a chance that I would have Chalice on 1 next turn? No, so I'm just going to play Chalice on 0. Depends what the deck is. The only concern is the Bauble gets them out of their Melder 3, but like, I suppose that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. If they kept a 3, kept a Bauble, they kept a risky hand. Bloodstained Mire? I wish I'd drawn an untapped land. I'll play the Drossforge, so I have the option to Damn next turn. Maybe I should have played a white Soul Socket Ending. That might have been better. Okay, they look to be Jund. It's going to be like Rensix. Loam. Okay. My hand doesn't do much against that. It's tough because my hand doesn't really do anything. So I think I'm just going to Wildfire. I'll take one's life. Are they Dredge? Dredge Mulder 3. Just someone doesn't really do anything against that. Well, if they're Dredge, then they won't have a basic forest. Although they did pick up their fetch, didn't they? They get mountain, so they are Dredge. Okay. So, Red's got a very slow start, but we can't really do anything against them. The Dredge's over a Narcomoeba, sure. Okay, they're getting another green source. They're probably just going to Life from the Loam again. So this kind of undoes their mulligan a little. Just whether I want a Chalice on 1. Well, I'm not going to need to cast any 1-drops, so it seems fine. No, they did get to put their Stomping Ground back in hand, so Wildfiring the Stomping Ground doesn't really impact them that much. But I think it impacts them enough. Forces them to keep shocking in Stomping Grounds. Draws us a card. They used to like Dredge with Sun and Moon because they didn't have a basics find. Because they Blood Moon shuts them off. Like they only have basic mountains, so Blood Moon shuts them off absolutely everything. Don't mind drawing Boom here. It's going to cost a 2 life every turn if they want to keep casting this Life from the Loam. It means they can't cast other things. I can also Chalice on 2 to turn off their ability to Life from the Loam, but then it turns off my ability to Boom. Alright, Loaming back again. Take one from the Narcomoeba. Do I want to bust next turn? I think I do, actually. I think I want the option of drawing a land and busting. So, I think I just want to damn this Narcomoeba. Actually, if I Chalice on 2, then damn, they're kind of locked out, huh? This stops them casting Life from Loam. It also turns off like every card in my hand. But if I draw a land and get to bust, it's real good. And I think we're both sitting here doing nothing, so I kind of want to play for that. So I think I look like a genius if I top deck a land next turn. And I look like an idiot if I don't. We drew a tap land, okay. Well, I can't cast anything. So I'm going to pass. Okay. Kind of milled over nothing. Okay, so I just need this turn of theirs to be not great. I've kind of chosen a risky line here. Looks like they're going to escape the Ox. Conflagrate for 7, okay. Now flashback the Ox. Got another Creeping Chill, Jesus. 2 Creeping Chills. Uh-oh. Well, I can't freaking fetch now, so that's dandy. Okay. Yep, my play was risky and I died for it. Lovely. Okay, so Hazard's fine. Everything's fine. I think I just need to cut Chalices. And I want to bring in Leyline of the Voids, and I want to bring in Relic. Actually, I kind of want to leave Chalices. Do I want to leave Chalices in? Probably not. Yeah, let's go like this. Jeez, I tried to mulligan to 3, but we had such a nothing hand there. We will mulligan. We'll keep based on the strength of Relic of Progenitors. What do I want to bottom? Probably the Wildfire. I just don't have time for that. I don't have the right kind of hand for it. I'm not going to play the Relic out on 1 because it just like incentivizes their opponent to destroy it. So if I played it on 2, at least if they go to destroy it, I can pop it straight away. Means I'm going to set a 1-tap activation of it, and that's about it. Their opponent's doing nothing with their turn 1 anyway, so that's cool. Get Survive Triumph, and play Relic and pass. Now we need to make sure we always hold up a mana for Relic activation. Okay, just going to make them exile a card in response to whatever it is they're doing here. Just get that Bloodstained Mire out of their graveyard. This is probably just going to be like a life from the loam, I would imagine. Prismatic Ending. You're a rude opponent. Well, they had no turn 1 play, and their turn 2 was just Prismatic Ending, so I'm feeling relatively good. I'm just going to Vindicate them here, take them off the 5-color land, I suppose. They don't have another land, huh? That's good to know. So let's get rid of your green. Turn that into a mountain. Oh, we drew another Vindicate. That's so spicy. Oh, they found a land. Good for them. Life from the loam, huh? Must be nice. Just gonna do our thing. Take away your green source. Kind of in the same position as last game. But I think this time I will make the choice to not be dumb. Did they not dredge? They returned Stinkweed rather than Life from the Loam? They must have another Life from the Loam then. Cathartic? Sure. So I think I'm just going to wipe the board here. No reason not to. Okay, so opponents triggered a bunch of prize bombs, got knocked me back. They've cast Life from the Loam to return a bunch of lands to hand. And then what? Gonna Thought Seize me, I guess, off the City Brass? Sure. I guess you take a dam and I cast the other one, huh? Lingering Souls ain't bad. Let's just wrath the world again. Pass it back. Nice thing is these Lingering Souls are going to be 2-turn clock when I decide to go for it. They hit another Narcomoeba? Come on. Must be nice to be so lucky, dude. Jeez, there's an Oxford Ghost in their grave. Okay, they're Life from the Loam again. They've got a million cards in hand again. And they get a million prize amalgams back again. Okay, so I'm just going to cast both sides of a Lingering Souls, I guess. And these guys are just going to try and chump block and buy me a turn, I suppose. Or if I can survive the hit, I can... No, I can't kill them, can I? Maybe there was a turn where I should have held back on the dams, I suppose. Okay, Life from the Loam again. They have 9 cards left in deck. Get themselves to 6. Okay, big old Conflagrate, sure. It's going to drop me to 1. And we drew garbage. Okay, our opponent's got it. So let's go to the post-league wrap-up. Okay, so 2 and 3 overall, not the best result, but I'm pretty happy with it still. Like this deck isn't going to 4-1 and 5-0. I wouldn't imagine. Like it's not the most competitive deck. But I do think like for what we're trying to do, this has felt like the strongest build so far. If their record like doesn't show that, I think our match loss to Elementals was very close. I think we were definitely with a shot there. We just got to. I feel like that was just a little unlucky. It feels like a bad matchup despite the fact we have 3 main deck Chalice and then like a Chalice and a Void Mirror in the board and they can't to grab them and all that. The match against the Yorian deck, like the Reanimator style deck, there was a few things like I saw them using Faithful Mending and I wasn't committed enough to bring the Leyline of the Voids in, despite seeing that, and I should have known that was a sign that Leyline of the Void was at least worth bringing in. And if it turned out that my opponent was running Faithful Mending as like a value card, it still takes the value away if I've got Leyline in, and I am at an advantage just because my opponent would be running a bad card in their deck, essentially. So misplay there for sure. Some of the plays in that match also weren't great. Things like they hardcast the Muldrift when I thought they evoked it, so I tried to kill it with Spike Field, tried to just like quickly chip in some damage with the Spike Field has to exile it, and then it just got to stick around. And then like I popped a Relic, and then immediately after they like ended up with an Archon in their bin, and like I boom busted and they recovered and I did, and then it all came crashing down in that match. I don't think we deserved to lose that match necessarily. I think there was potentially just some play errors. That deck's very interesting. It's a reanimated deck, but it's like got a bunch of counterspells back up. I think it is just for actual factual counterspell. Like we didn't see anything else, like any other kind of interaction, but they just always seemed to have it when they needed it. So that was annoying. And then match number 5 against Dredge. Like game 1, I just that was a punt. I shouldn't have set a Chalice on 0. Sorry, a Chalice on 2, thinking that I'm gonna bust and then they'll shit. Like I just should have not played that Chalice, just chilled back, because those dams were going to buy us enough time anyway, just constantly wrathing their board, and then eventually I get to bust, and then wrath their board, and I think I was just a little... It was a very risky play that I learned my lesson from. Like, I thought it was worth trying out to see how it would pan out, because up until then my opponent had done nothing, then all of a sudden, the turn that I make myself vulnerable, my opponent just went nuts. And then for the sideboard games, like maybe I meant to hold on to the relic and not play it out, but I kept a hand that had no other plays. Like I brought in the ley lines and the relic. I found the relic, so I played it out. My opponent had the prismatic ending to answer, which like because they're splashing white for the thrilling discovery or whatever it's called, then of course their only prismatic ending is their like removal for things like relics. So I probably should have played around that a bit better. But then it's like trying to. I find it hard enough to find the right moment to pop a relic against my dredge opponent, let alone finding the right time to actually put it onto the battlefield. So plus they had Thoughtseize, and we knew they had Thoughtseize in their deck, so I wasn't willing to play out like to hold a relic and have lose to Thoughtseize. Overall, though, I'm very happy with the list. I think compared to the list I ran off, like when not recording, that had four Karns, no Nahiris, no Emrakul, no main deck Charles, and they were all on the board and had like bolts and Thoughtseize as main. Like I like Thoughtseize. I was actually gonna run them in the sideboard of this, but like with the chalices, it means you always need to cut the chalices when you bring the Thoughtseize in, and I wasn't a fan of that. I do like this like half sideboard, half wishboard thing we've got going on. And I think a lot of these are correct. Like, it would have been nice to have Torpor Orb against the Reanimator opponent, but the game where that was relevant was game one, which were heavily far ahead anyway. That was before we knew the matchup. Um, we've got the Grave Hate, so if we had have found a Karn against Dredge, we might have been okay in some of those games. The coding obviously combines with Karn nicely. The Trinisphere proved itself in one of those games. I think it was the game we won against Elementals where we got to completely lock them out. But then we drew like Defense Grid and every other card locked them out anyway. Defense Grid I think's good. I don't think it needs to be here. I think Ensnaring Bridge is one that probably should be in here. And it was in the build that I wasn't running the Nahiris, but because I'm running Nahiri Emrakul, I liked not having the Ensnaring Bridge. Also, something worth mentioning in the Dredge matchup was I was going to Prismatic Ending my Chalice on two and then Overload a Dam, but my opponent just exploded in that one turn. I didn't have the chance. Like, I didn't get to. I would have needed 7 mana to do it in one turn. I had 6, and the 6 mana was behind a fetch that all of a sudden I wasn't able to fetch because they put me down to 1. So, yeah, but that is an option. We can Prismatic Ending away our Chalices to like unlock things. We can also Karn Uptick on our Chalices to unlock our spells, which is cool. Yeah, I really like this. I think I'm going to run this back at some point and try and be less bad at playing. I think this deck could have. I think the Elementals matchup was definitely a loss. I think we should have sort of been a chance against Dredge. I think we should have beaten the Yorian deck if I had have understood the matchup a little better. So I think this deck could have potentially 3-2'd that league. And, if we get the right matchups, we can probably take out a league, I would think, where if we're on top of it and we get the right matchups. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-zy.